Hi everyone, welcome to the Movieception Show. My name is Fariba, and just a moment ago, we just got a brand new trailer for Supergirl. I'm very intrigued to see this film. I know a lot of people are very excited to see it, and ever since, Superman came out last year. And I gotta say, Superman was a pretty good film. Of course, I was from James Gunn, and this is all part of James Gunn's DC universe that he's now, relaunching. And I mean, I think having Supergirl next makes sense just because we did see her at the end of I think it was at the post credits, or at least at the end of the movie. I mean, we saw her and Krypton reunite, but I'm very excited to see it. I think now that I've myself became a pet owner, I'm very curious to see how I'm gonna feel about this film, especially because there's the whole connection between her and Crypto. I meant to say Krypton is something. I think that's a planet. Crypto, and I mean, the movie came out last year, was a July, and I didn't even become a pet owner until September. But even then, I mean, it's just amazing. But I'm very intrigued to see kind of this story because it does go a little bit into the whole destruction of their planet right before, Clark ended up at near Earth. So I'm very intrigued to see what's gonna happen. And yeah, I don't want to wait any longer. So without further ado, let's get right down into watching the new trailer for Supergirl.
Hey, I was just touching base to see when you think you might be coming back. I'm just worried that you're not gonna find your stride here if you keep going off-world all the time, Kara. I'm worried you're not gonna find your people.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, Clark. I have no people. Oh, miss wherever you are, buddy. Crypto and I at least had each other.
Oh my god, see?
Honestly,
this is a movie of pet owners.
We were lucky. But luck, almost by definition, runs out. What can I do?
The Brickens carry the antidote on that person.
Oh, hell no.
He has 3 days.
You cannot give up on me.
I'm about to murder some freaking, what was it, Xandarian or whatever.
Just do what I say. And don't die. This does not look like this is gonna end well for you guys.
Stop. You're hurting my head.
Revenge. It won't take your pain away.
Your eyes are beautiful when you cry. A lot of pain, huh? A lot of suffering.
There is no home without you, buddy.
Hey.
Aren't you the ditz from that dive bar?
Funny. That's what I've been calling you.
Touche.
Girl, and I gotta say, I actually really do like it. I think I'm even more invested with this movie now that we have a little bit of idea of what the plot details are. And I gotta say, I think this clearly is going to be a movie for a lot of pet owners. I mean, I think a lot of us can understand just what Kara has to go through, especially with the fact that we know what happens to their planet. It gets destroyed, and her and Kara are probably what's left of Kryptonians. And yeah, I mean, honestly, from the bat, like the moment that we saw that, I don't know what those guys are. They're like, I remember there was like some kind of word for them, but But the fact that matters is that they shot Crypto, and I was like, okay. I'm like, even I would go on a whole, you know, revenge quest, John Wick style on whoever, in the fact that they would even try to harm Crypto, especially since that's all that's left of Kara. And I mean, it's very clear from watching this trailer, this movie is probably going to be reflecting on a whole lot of things, especially because we know that Kara is absolutely broken. She's traumatized. She's someone who feels very vulnerable and alone, and it makes sense why Clark is reaching out to her, because at least with Clark, he has found his new home. He's found his new people. He's found a place where he is now able to accept as his home, whereas the same hasn't happened with Kara. And it makes sense why this movie is going to be very heavily focused on why she's on this pursuit, why she's feeling so down, why she's so broken. And I mean, this is honestly, of course, typical James Gunn. Although I don't think this is directed by James Gunn, but I can see a lot of James Gunn influence with this, just because, I mean, when you're just looking at it, you can see elements of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and let me just tell you, that film made me break down so hard. I think I cried twice. I cried twice. And so, but yeah, I think you can see how there's the essence of James Gunn's influence in this movie, just simply with the fact that there is already an animal, there's a character that's emotionally broken, and yet it still is going to look like it's going to be action-packed fun. And I think that's what I really love about Gunn's movies in general, because there's always, even though it may seem like fun from, like, you know, glance, there's always a deeper message behind them. And I think that's what made the Guardians of the Galaxy movies so great. I mean, we even see that with essence of, like, we even see those elements in Superman as well, where yes, it's a superhero movie, but there's a deeper meaning behind what's going on. And I'm sure that that's gonna also continue on with Man of Tomorrow, but that's for a different story. I mean, I don't even think that's even started shooting yet, or it's about to shoot. But even then, I think watching this trailer, like, I mean, honestly, I'm even more hooked, just because I'm not the biggest DC person, and I will admit that I'm not the biggest DC person. I'm someone's a lot more familiar with Marvel content than DC, although I have seen a lot of DC content. Like, I've seen the Christopher Nolan stuff, and you know, a couple of the films here and there, and of course the Zack Snyder stuff. But I feel like this is one of those cases where I'm actually like, okay, I'm finally starting to tune into the DC universe, just because it's refreshing. It's being covered. It's being helmed by James Gunn, who really knows his comic book knowledge, which only makes, like, you know, my feelings about the new movies that are coming out a lot more, like, I feel a lot more comfortable with the fact that there's actually going to be really good adaptations for these stories. And I think with this one, right, of course we do see Lobo, and I didn't even know that Lobo was going to team up with her. Like, I've heard that he's kind of like a villain in a way, and I know, and of course that's being played by Jason Momoa, and he previously played Aquaman. So I was just so curious, because I never really knew too much about Lobo. Like, I don't even know who, you know, what he does, what he is, or what his comic book origins are, but I'm very intrigued just to learn a little bit more about that character. And I actually like that we're seeing a little bit of a refreshing take of these characters. We've seen so many of these stories so many times, whether it be Lex Luthor or Freeze, I can't remember, it was like Freeze Man or something like that, and the Penguin, and it's like, it's a little bit more refreshing to see some characters that we're not as familiar with as we have before. And so, and not only that, but to see them team up and still allowing Jason Momoa just to kind of be Jason Momoa, and still have this kind of version of his DC character in this era. I'm very intrigued. I'm very intrigued to see it. I think, but as I said before, I think just watching the second trailer, it makes me even more confident about watching this movie, just because there's definitely a very set story. It does sound so that the girl that is meeting up with Kara, I don't know what her name is. Again, I'm still kind of figuring out some stuff about, you know, the DC universe, but it sounds so that her story is almost kind of like a parallel to Kara, and so it sounds like that they're both going through this journey, and that Kara is going to be the one to eventually kind of help this young girl out and allow her to realize, like, you know, revenge is not the way to go, and because she even says right there, like, revenge is not really the best option if you are dealing with something as tragic as, you know, losing a planet, your family, everything, right? And so I'm very interested to see what's going to happen in this film. Again, I think the fact that Crypto is in this film is just going to be it's going to be the big thing about it. I know a lot of people were, like, not happy about Crypto last year when he was in, like, the Superman movie, and I was just like, what is wrong with you people? Like, I love the dog. I really love Crypto. I mean, and as I said before, I'm now a pet owner now myself. And even though I have a cat, it's not a dog, it's a cat. I can't even imagine, like, I mean, my cat is still very young, so like I still have so many years to make memories. But even then, like, I even have to start thinking about, okay, when the day comes, like, how will I be? Like, I know that day will come at some point, and it's like it's really hard to think about those things. And so and now it's like, okay, imagine Kara, who's known Crypto for so long, and the fact that she only has 3 days to go and save him. I mean, I don't even know what's going to happen. I mean, hopefully he'll be okay. That's my hopes. I'm hoping he's gonna be okay. I feel like that would be really devastating. I feel like that would be quite a lot to have Crypto die by the end of the film. But even then, I am actually very intrigued to see this film. Like, now, having seen the second trailer, I'm even more excited to see it and see what's going to happen, what is going to be in stores. But yeah, that's all I have to say about the new Supergirl trailer. It looks, I mean, honestly, this may have set the deal for me. I am going to see this film. I'm actually now even more intrigued to see what's going to happen. But even then, I know a lot of people have different thoughts. So I want to know about you. What do you think about the new Supergirl trailer that we just got? What do you think about the plot details that we got? Like, we now know that she's on a mission to go and save Crypto after having been injected with this mystery kind of virus. But it's also not just that, but the fact that she's also kind of going through a whole journey and just her reliving the moments of losing her home and her family. That's going to be a key moment as well. What do you think about that? Now, having seen this trailer, like, how do you feel about it now? Do you feel like you are now even more hooked? Are you now, like, excited to go see this film? Are you going to go buy a ticket? Or are you still a little bit more reserved because this is a story that we've never really seen before? Or at least we haven't really seen Supergirl in a more, in her own solo movie. I mean, I could be wrong. I think there might actually be one. I just don't know about it, but I know there was a show. But beyond that, like, what do you feel about the fact that we're actually getting a Supergirl movie, and that being the second official film after ever since James Gunn's DC universe was launched? What do you think about the fact that we do see Jason Momoa? We kind of get a little bit of a reveal that he is now teaming up with Kara. What are your thoughts about that? Are you excited to see Jason Momoa as a different DC character that is an Aquaman? And let me know if you have any other thoughts and concerns. Let me know your thoughts below. Make sure to like and subscribe.